welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I got your story titled, My Wife, a 31-year-old female, is having an emotional affair. Is divorce the right option? And a shout out to Sam for sending in this story. And guys, this story is about a guy who ultimately will make the right choice, kicking the wife to the curb after finding out that his wife, who's been married for 4 years and been with her for 13, long chunk of their life, has been cheating with a coworker. And big surprise, they all work in a hospital. I'm guessing she's a nurse. Talk about a stereotype. And he finds this, obviously, through her texting and her phone and all that, all sorts of inappropriate things. And it goes to show you guys, you're going to see how this girl, when she gets caught, the things she says, the things she does, she doesn't care about this guy. And if he stays with someone like this, she'll just keep doing it over and over again. And it's all the cliche stuff to show you that once a cheater, always a cheater. And you find out your girl's cheating, break it off and move on. Life will go on. It's interesting, from the perspective of a guy who's almost 48 years old. I know what it's like to be young and have girlfriends in my high school years and college and 20s, and how when there's a breakup or something like that, you think your whole world's over, and when you get older, you realize it's not. Yeah, you cared about him and all that, but life will go on. And you'll see he's struggling with that, but ultimately he'll make the right decision, as many of you guys certainly have either been through or certainly know. So it starts off, says here, a few days ago, I noticed my wife was deleting a text thread, which is something that she's never done before. I decided to check her laptop, as texts go through there, and I was shocked to find out that she was having an S-word explicit conversation with a coworker who also happens to be a married man and just had a child a few months ago. And there you go. Divorce. For context here, we've been together for about 13 years. 13. So since he was like 20 years old and she was 18, and married for 4. We both work very demanding jobs in healthcare. Like any couple, we've had plenty of ups and downs. The last couple of years have really been in a rut. It has felt like we are constantly more irritable with each other, and our intimacy has been nearly dead for a while now. However, we both felt this may be part of depression and hormonal issues that we were having and working on. Hormonal. For you, dude? No. But, so you're bickering, you're not having a good time together, and it's a dead bedroom, and you're 33. What the hell is the point of this? And no kids. And no talk about kids. Another issue that bothers me is that for the entirety of our relationship, she has made jabs about how many men will cheat and how will someday cheat on her. That's projection. Her previous relationship before me ended with her boyfriend living a complete second life with a different woman. She used to go through my phone when she felt like it, and when she felt like I was texting a particular female too much. Given all that, the current situation just enrages me. Well, if you're married or in a serious relationship, he shouldn't be talking to other women unless it's a coworker and it's specifically about work or a relative. But regardless, this guy obviously is not a cheater. And so she's lecturing this guy about all men are cheaters and all that, and she does just this. Yeah, because that's exactly what she is. Well, the coworker of hers has always been a close friend for the last 3 years. It's been obvious in the past that he's had a crush on my wife, but I have never seen any evidence that it was reciprocated. He has sent suggestive texts in the past, and she shut it down and insisted that he likes to get a rise out of people. That's unacceptable. This guy here knew that this guy was doing it. Shut that down immediately. In the last few days, I've seen texts of the two of them complaining about their sex lives, talking about how much they want to have you-know-what with each other, sending nudes, etc. I have a hard time believing they're not getting it on, at least not once. And talking is bad enough and all that, but now sending spicy pictures and content, no, it's over. He has even sent an explicit photo with part of his wife's face in it, claiming he wishes it was my wife. Oh, God. There has been a lot of complaining about me and about his partner and how we do not gratify them. She's been trying to stay on top of deleting the threads, but often does not think to delete the stuff from bedtime to overnight. I'm fairly confident nothing physical has happened yet. Yeah, they're talking about wanting to hook up and all that, but I still don't quite buy that. Part of me feels guilty for this. Smack. Why? I've not been the perfect husband by any means. I've always been the one to do all the chores at home care for the pets, cook, do laundry, etc. And I'll admit, though, that I'm not the most emotionally available husband. I'm just not a cuddler or overly sexual person. I understand this affair is her choice and not mine, but I do feel like I pushed her into this, and I feel the guilt for that. Smack! Don't even do that. She's not even guilt tripping you yet. And by the way, I don't know what she's so unhappy about, given the fact that you said you do all the chores at home and care for the pets and cook and do laundry. What the hell does she do? Right? Maybe she's lost a little respect for this guy, I don't know, but regardless. My problem is that I do not know how to approach this. At first I was shocked and angry, now I'm numb and emotionless. Part of me feels like the writing was on the wall for this marriage a while ago, and this is the final blow. Well, interesting choice of words, blow. Our family lives Our family lives are insanely intertwined, and we literally share the same friend group. I don't know if I should just try to move out and figure things out, or I should be getting a divorce at this point. I know I'll be gaslit when I finally confront her, and I don't even know how to confront her. I also don't know if I should tell the other guy's wife. I feel guilty given that they had just had a baby. Dude, his wife needs to know. And yes, you need to end it with her, regardless if your relationships are intertwined. And if you know she's going to gaslight you, that says a lot about her. Yeah, maybe you're not perfect. Maybe you've not been as affectionate and cuddling and whatever. Who the fuck cares? That doesn't justify his behavior. She's unhappy. She should talk to you about it. Try to work up whatever things that are an issue. But instead, she's not communicating with this guy and has just decided to have an affair behind his back. That's what typically happens. He says, reading this back now, I understand I probably look like an idiot for not already having left, but I'm struggling. Well, he's blindsided by all this, but nobody here is that surprised. Now, there's going to be a series of updates here, guys, till we get to the final thing when he's obviously done with her. He says, also, we do not have any kids, just pets. The relationship felt like it was going south for years, but this is completely unexpected. I truly do not know this is something I can forgive and move past on or not. No, you should not move past this no way. And don't even think about maybe we'll have a baby and that'll fix things. That does not work. He also says, another big issue of mine is the amount of disrespect thrown at me in those chats that she laughed at me. Washing her panties that he got soaked or making them dinner while he blows her back out. I don't know if that's something I'll ever get over. I'm a non-confrontational type of pretty good with the flow type of guy, but these jokes are pretty foul. Even if I get over the sexting crap, it's hard to process how she could laugh along with stuff like that. No, dude, there's no getting past this. Yeah, to add insult to injury, they're making fun of him and everything, but you better become a confrontational guy. Look, guys, I'm not for being some jerk that goes around picking fights, but if somebody is doing you wrong, you got every right to stand up for yourself. A lot of guys are too darn passive. Now to his big update here, we're leading to the conclusion. He says, this was like a month after he did that first post. He says, I ended up having a confrontation early last week. It wasn't exactly what I had planned, but she knew something was up, as I had emotionally checked out over the few days leading up to it. In other words, women aren't stupid. They know something's up. She's sneaking around, so she's very attuned as to what he's doing because she doesn't want to think he caught on to her. Some background information I've learned and not provided in the original post. The texting has gone on about a week total. That's it. I have a hard time believing that. It turns out I discovered it pretty early on. Although they have texted a lot for the last few years, I've seen them in the past that there was nothing like this and generally just work-related stuff. There was also a lot of remarks about the intimacy between us fizzling out, indicating there may be a sign of the affair being physical. Our intimacy has dried out for the last year or so. We've chalked it up to stress, work, hormones, depression up to this point. Yes, life can get in the way of intimacy. It happens, but still, a year? And I do not think they were only talking a week. No freaking... He said they've known each other for years. So, no. I think she just covered her track. I think what's going on is she's been having an inappropriate relationship with this guy for a long time. And I think probably what happened is that she was covering her tracks so well that eventually she's like, well, I'm not getting caught, so I don't need to delete this text chain as fast as I used to, and that's how she got caught. In terms of the confrontation, there was no arguing or fireworks. I laid out the grievances about the betrayal and the incredible disrespect I felt. I also pointed out the rage I felt over the hypocrisy of accusing all guys of cheating for years. She swore up and down that nothing physically occurred between them, and I get it's naive of me, but I believe it, but for various reasons I do. Smack! Don't believe it. And regardless, who cares at this point? She's having an inappropriate relationship with this guy. She's sending nudes, for God's sakes. She's making fun of you. You're 33. Your prime's just beginning. End it. Move on. Problem is, his wife for 13 years. That's a massive percentage of his life. When I initially threatened to tell the other guy's wife, was the first time that I got a wave of defensiveness from her. She begged me not to ruin their family with a new baby and focus on fixing our marriage instead. What about you, honey? Why haven't you been trying to fix the marriage? You're out there having an affair. And notice how she defends him, begging him not to tell that guy's wife. I was also told by the OBS, the other betrayed spouse, I was also told the OBS will definitely tell all the coworkers, and now both her home life and work life will be ruined. They are both contractually bound to working together for the next 5 years in residency. Her reasoning was that I have not made her feel desired and like a woman in a long time. That she gave into hormones as he was saying all the right things that made her feel craved. There you go. Blaming the guy. That's always the thing. Blaming him. He wasn't doing this, wasn't doing that, didn't make her feel desired. And, well, it's the hormones that made me cheat. No, not buying it, sweetheart. Multiple times I did feel like the situation was minimized. Statements such as nothing physical happened and it was just sexting had not set well with me. I also feel like I was being blamed for this. And to clarify, we have talked in the past about trying to be more romantic and stuff like that. It still feels like there does not mean doing this crap is acceptable. I admitted plenty of my shortcomings during the confrontation, but also reaffirmed that what she did was so insanely wrong. Absolutely. I'm glad this guy confronted her. I'm glad he's standing up for himself. That's good. That's a change for him. I also reached out to the guy. Yeah, what's that going to do? He was clearly panicked and swore up and down that nothing physical happened. Yeah, I believe that. He begged me not to tell his wife and ruin his life. What a mangina. He's doing this with this guy's wife and now he's begging him not to tell his. He claimed that his son is his entire world, which I rebut by saying that all he did was complain about his wife to me. Or complain to him about my wife. Not long after, he blocked me on everything and was texting my wife to not let your husband move out, and he's going to ruin my life now. These two are two peas in the pod. They deserve each other. I wish I could say that I took my pets and stormed off and moved out like I dreamt up in my head, but sadly, all I did was move out to the other room, and demand time and space. She's been saying that she'll respect that, but has been persistently approaching me, asking to talk about our marriage for the last several days. Yeah, now she wants to talk about the marriage. Now she wants to fix things because she knows that he can split. Frankly, I'd be using this time to talk to a lawyer. I would have talked to a lawyer before I confronted her. I'd find a place to go and take the dogs and the cats with me. My emotions have ranged from complete rage to completely dead inside. I have just been right working or in bed sleeping 14 hours a day at this point. I know I'm checked out at this point. I've been fighting passive thoughts of ending myself, wishing for a car to crash into me, or just not wake up. Bro, you're 33. You got your whole life ahead of you, okay? It sucks that this happened, but you know what? Sadly, worse has happened to other people. You could have kids. That could make this whole situation way worse. I'm sorry it happened, man. It happens to many guys, but you can't think about ending your life over a chick. No. No. If one of your children died, then I can understand the pain being so great of thinking that. But even then, you got to go on. Get help if you're that bad. I can assure all those I have no active plans of self-harm, and that is not the point of this post. Well, good. I feel like my entire life has been turned upside down. I recently established with a therapist for the first time in my life, plenty of childhood trauma for terrible parents, and she's been telling me that I'm mourning a life I thought I had. Truthfully, I'm just all over this right now and everything. I've definitely just gone into self-protection mode right now. Well, you know what? Good. You should be protecting yourself because your wife sure as hell has not been. A few days ago, my wife asked me if I'd be willing to see a marriage counselor with her. I begrudgingly agreed, and during our first session, I admitted I'm unsure if I want to save this marriage or not. I was not a very active participant, as I was quite checked out, as it's only been 3 days since the confrontation. We have more appointments lining up, and I've told her that I'm unsure I will ever get over this betrayal. I've also told her it's clear we have significant incompatibilities. She has been begging me to try to try as we've been together for so long, so clearly something works about us. She's been trying to be affectionate the last couple of days and getting me to reciprocate. Hold her hand, give her a kiss, compliment, etc. Again, why wasn't she doing this before? Why wasn't she trying to work on it before? Because she didn't care. That's why. But she doesn't want to get divorced and have to have everything go upside down. See, they're all about staying with the husband at least for a while, as long as they can have fun on the side. The only way that this woman would divorce this guy is if the other guy was single or was divorcing his wife, but he isn't. I have not told the other guy's wife as of yet. I've not decided if I will or not. Dude, you need to tell her. Morally, I know the absolute correct decision is to tell her. However, as mad as I am at my wife, I'm not trying to just ruin her entire life. I'm not out to get revenge on people. I grew up with enough confrontation. I'm definitely a non-confrontational person right now. I've also not ruled out telling her yet, but I'm thinking about it. Well, you'll see in the end, guys, he does do the right thing. She deserves to know to make up her own mind about this jackass that she's with. And this guy said he grew up obviously in a very unhappy household, a lot of private fighting and bickering and all that, therefore he's not confrontational. Like I said, you don't have to be someone going out there picking fights, guys, but if somebody messes with you, you got to stand up for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be taking advantage of your whole life. Women do not respect pushover men. I do apologize for how this post is just a rambling mess. All in all, emotionally, I feel dead inside. I've lost all joy in my life, and I'm just doing the motions. I do not know if I'll be able to get over this to save the marriage, and I don't know if I want to save the marriage. You shouldn't, and don't worry, he doesn't. Our lives are just so intertwined, and splitting may be such a difficult and miserable process. Brother, it's only been a few days, or maybe a few weeks since this all went down. This is natural. You've been with her for 13 years. My closest friend is the only person who knows, and they have made it clear that divorce would be their only choice if they were in my shoes. I'm very lucky to have their support during this, but I do feel guilty for just trauma dumping the situation. Dude, don't feel guilty for going to your friends for help. I know most replies will be that I should have already started the divorce process, and I wish it was that easy. I will value advice and know quite a few people have asked for updates. I definitely missed a lot of info and will try to reply as soon as I can. Thank you. Now there's a few more pieces of information before the final thing. He says here, I don't know if I'll ever get past this, as she told me how she knows I hold grudges against people, referencing my poor relationship with my parents these days. I definitely feel like there has been minimizing of the situation, but she frames it as trying to move forward and learn from the situation. He says also, I thought I had linked the original post, but it's not showing up, blah, blah, blah. I also just learned that he texted her last night to complain about some work situation to her. I was told they were completely done speaking to each other, but it turns out the only person getting blocked is him blocking me, and I confronted him. See, she's back talking to that guy again already, claiming it's about work. Bullshit. They're strategizing and plotting here. The sentiment is pretty clear how intertwined our lives are and makes the prospect of splitting up that more miserable. Our families are very close now, and we share the same group of friends, work in the same hospital. I think the cowardice of dealing with all that is definitely affecting my thinking. Well, if they all work in the same place and this guy's having a fling with her, this guy's a perfect opportunity to get these two assholes fired once they're divorced. He says, for the people who keep asking, we live in New York City. Also, for the people who are just messaging me super hateful stuff, I would appreciate not getting that crap. I recognize I'm not thinking straight right now. People are actually messaging him hateful stuff. Next update. We're almost done here. He says here, I read a lot of messages, and I would like the original post, blah, blah, blah. She does seem to be showing true remorse recently. She's been very open about how badly she messed up and destroyed all our trust. I can't say whether this remorse has moved me at all. I still feel checked out. I've just been coming home from work, sleeping the rest of the day. She tries to get me to cuddle or hug her, but honestly, I feel so empty at this point, I'm just going to go through the motions. I do actually feel bad about how I've been, but this has been stuck. I've just been stuck so deeply at this point. Dude, do not feel bad. You haven't done anything wrong. Smack, by the way. Smack some sense into you. She's broken off all contact, it seems, with the other guy. That's what she said early on, and then she's back talking to him again. She's blocked him in everything and avoids him at work, according to her. I told her that I'm always going to have this bit of distrust in the back of my mind. We've been continuing therapy, but honestly, it still feels like it's her trying to justify the circumstances that led to the affair. We have clearly identified a lot of the huge incompatibilities in our relationship. She wants to fight to change and be stronger, and I just don't even respond still. So yeah, using the therapy to dig in and justify her actions. Shocker. I feel like this affair validates so many of my self-doubts. My entire childhood was spent being screamed at about everything I did was wrong. And now it feels like I'm being told what I did wrong to lead to my being cheated on. Sometimes it seems like she understands the gravity, and sometimes she's trying to minimize it so we can quote-unquote move forward. Women and accountability. Yeah, she doesn't want to be accountable for this. You're going to get the trickle truth. You're going to get as basic in terms of apologies as possible, but she doesn't want a divorce because she wants things to go back to normal. And you stay with her, she's going to go right back to cheating. The last few weeks have been awful. I've been struggling between being completely numb and seething with self-hatred. I've not felt this lonely in my life since I was a kid. I've been confiding with 2 friends, but at this point I feel like it's just pushing them away, so I won't do that anymore. I'm surrounded by a larger group of fair-weathered friends who can't be depended on for anything. Well, then they're not worth having as friends. My family will never understand divorce as this stupid immigrant culture. You tolerate anything to stay married. I'm just crumbling from the inside and don't feel like I ever have the strength to make a decision. I go to sleep every night hoping I don't wake up as I just want out of this now. Swallowing the pill that essentially half my life has been thrown away is unbearable. I recognize how easy it is to say that divorce is the right choice, but it doesn't make it any easier. Well, it's not easy, but it's the best decision. And you're 33, your life's not over, dude. And shit, half your life at 33? No, try more like maybe a third of your life. But you can get your shit together and everything like that and get the right help, and you can have a whole new life going forward. But not with her. And who cares? Everybody's against you about this whole thing. Don't stay with her. And update number 3, he's all over the place with edits and updates and all that, and we're getting to what we want to get to. I want to give an update to this situation. The last month has had me in a very dark place. I continue to feel like there's many moments of minimizing what happened and many moments of true remorse. I've become paralyzed by the stress and shut down. Well, this week I made a decision to move out. Hallelujah! Thank the Lord. I packed the essentials and booked a hotel. Her parents paid a huge chunk of the house, so I'm not asking her to leave. I've been reflecting on everything, and I see that our relationship has been trying to get past some horrible incompatibilities. I finally have my answer that divorce is the right option. Thank you. We're not happy together. She cheated, and I'll never get over that. She's begging not to, but I'll be telling her that I am done. And for the affair partner's wife, I will tell her too. Thank God. Well, so there you go. Long drawn out thing, but the whole work thing, and obviously working in a hospital, I bet you she's a nurse. What do you all think? She's probably a freaking nurse. Maybe he's a male nurse too. I don't know. He's a Greg Fokker. But the point is, guys, as difficult as it may be, as much as you may have a life with somebody, it's not worth staying with someone like this. And, you just can't believe the bullshit she's saying. And again, if she's a nurse or just a healthcare professional working in a hospital, even if she's not a nurse, you've heard the stories that go, I've covered so many stories. I've had guys written into me on my main channel who work in healthcare in different hospitals and clinics, and they see the same thing, But life is not over. He's going to go through some struggles. He's got a lot of things he's got to work at from childhood crap, but he can get past that. I've seen guys get past way, way more. But staying with her is not the answer. He stays with her, I guarantee you, she'll go right back to her old tricks. I'm surprised she's not trying to get pregnant. That's probably why she's getting frisky with him, so she can get pregnant and then try to keep him staying, even though it might not be his baby. So, good for him. I'm glad he's finally doing it. Get rid of her, move on, start over. And who cares what he didn't say what his background is. He said this immigrant culture. So, obviously, his culture is like pretty much you stay married no matter what and deal with it, no matter how bad it is. Bullshit. When it's that bad, you get out of there. And you can see she does not care about him at all. So, good for him. I know it's tough, but you'll be all right. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sure you like the video. Share it with your friends and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.